Part two, I have cooked the pasta and I have put it into the pan. Then I'm going to take my chicken, which is all cooked now, and I'm going to distribute that in the pan as evenly as possible. Now, this is only one chicken breast. The recipe actually needs 3. And I pulled that frozen chicken breast out of the pan because I thought that's going to take too long for video purposes. So I chopped it up and then I cooked it all chopped and beautiful. The nice advantage with cooking your chicken in the pan is it leaves you with all the yummy bits in the pan that we can then use. So your pasta's done, you've poured your chicken on top, and now you're going to make the sauce. So we're going to saute our onion in a 1/2 cup of butter.
Sorry.
Butter makes it better. So I'm going to get this butter going just to get my pan a little bit greased, and it'll also help to pick up all those yummy bits off the bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to add my onion. Yeah. Get our temperature back up. And I'm just going to saute those onions until they are soft. What we're going to be doing is making a roux. This recipe calls for the juice of 1 lemon. So while that's sauteing away, I'm going to juice this lemon. And it calls for 1 tablespoon. All in all, you'll need 3 tablespoons, but for one recipe, you're going to need 1 tablespoon. This is my preferred method of cooking this chicken if I were just doing one for my family. But because we're going to be doing a whole lot of chicken, 12 breasts, it is okay to do it in the oven. And as I said before, you'll do it in the oven, completely cool it down, and then chop it up. So I really want like bite-sized pieces. So it's about a 1/2 inch square. I know it's kind of small.
Hold it in the palm of your hand.
I know it's kind of smallish, but we want everyone to get some chicken. So I'm going to hurry this along because we're going to bake it afterwards. So I'm not going to get my my onions completely soft, and that's okay too. But get them a little bit softer than where I've got them now. Then I'm going to add my lemon juice. Can you use bottled lemon juice? You can. I like fresh. I use fresh. I'm going to add my salt, nutmeg, and paprika. Those are the ingredients that I'm hoping you'll be able to contribute to this recipe. Then I'm going to add my flour, and I'm going to make a roux. You need to add the flour, and now we're going to end up with kind of a paste, which is what a roux is. Basically, we're making a flavored bechamel here. Now, I'm going to turn my heat completely off. Completely off. Prior to this, I boiled 4 cups of water into which I put 4 cubes of chicken bouillon. And if you do this just before and your water's hot, that's great. And I've let mine come to room temperature, and that's okay too. So once you put the flour in, you want to let it cook for about a minute or so before you start adding your liquid. But then we will slowly incorporate this, this chicken broth. You can use boxed, if you want to do this at home, you can use the boxed chicken broth. It's more expensive, so we're trying to save a buck. And I actually like the flavor of the bouillon cubes. So, so now we're going to start incorporating this. At first you want to go real slow.
And the heat's off.
The heat is off, and you're probably very familiar with making a roux, so probably don't need a lot of instruction on this, but go slowly at first till you get this all incorporated, and it does help if the heat is off to get this incorporated so you have something nice and smooth. And in a bechamel, smooth is good. Can you smell it?
Yes,
Carol,
it smells
smelling
yummy.
good. The combination of the spices and that little bit of lemon juice is really lovely. So once it starts loosening up a bit, you can be a little more aggressive with your liquid, but don't go too crazy till it really gets loose. I'm going to turn my heat back up now to about a medium high. You can use high heat as long as you watch it real carefully. And then I'm going to add my half and half. So in one recipe, there's 1 cup of half and half. So we're just going to let this come to the boil, and while it's doing that, I'm going to give you a little bit more information. So you've got your spaghetti cooked and in the pan, you've put in your chicken, you're making your sauce, you're going to pour the sauce over the pan and then sprinkle it with Parmesan and a little bit of additional paprika, which I'll show you. Then you're going to bake it, and we're hoping that you will do your time management so that you can bring it to the church between 4 and 5 on Saturday, June 15th.
Hot.
Hot, yes. Our goal after that will be to keep it warm until we serve it. But we can probably do that if it's hot. If we have to bring it from a cold state or even room temperature, it's going to probably take more time than we will have. So if you'll bring it hot. Do you have any questions? It's pretty easy recipe. It's pretty routine.
When you bake it in the oven, is it covered or uncovered?
Uncovered. Yeah, you don't have to cover it.
And okay, and how long do you bake it?
You bake it for 30 to 4 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes until it's kind of golden and bubbly and hot. Then you can cover it with foil to bring to church.
Okay.
So.